You see some examples. Those are the ones up there. I have a bunch more, and I want to kind of show you. But here, let's explain this one. Your final project. First, your output. You're going to do a picture that is going to go in a catalog to sell this thing. That's what your output for this is. We are not going to do any multi-views. We're not going to do anything. We're going to try and make this as pleasing as possible so that we can sell it. You get to draw what you want. Okay, you're going to produce a 3D solid using AutoCAD. The student gets to pick any object you wish to model, and you produce a computerized replica of it. Okay, and then I think you folks are going to be amazed at what you can do. Every year it happens. I have no idea how I got this thing done. Anything you want. Now, you do have to run it by me, and we're going to discuss it. Okay? Because one, we may not have the technical expertise or equipment to accurately measure some devices so that you can build them. Two, you just may not have the time to finish it in a timely manner, so we'll just do parts of it, or we'll say we're going to estimate this. I want to discuss that with you beforehand, because ultimately we want the exact replica. We may not be able to get there due to the technology we have in this room. Okay? So we need to discuss it. If somebody is struggling on doing the butterfly valve and they come in here and they've got, I don't know, the space shuttle with warped and tiles and seats and say, I want to model, like, no. You're never going to get this done. And we're going to discuss it and say, okay, you're going to do one wing, or you're going to do this, or something. We're going to make it so that you can finish the project. You're going to be critiqued down on these areas right here. You do have some rendering goals. That's your picture. We call it rendering. Okay, that's chapters 16 through 19, I believe, that we haven't hit yet. So you're going to get all these based on it. You're going to have some say on how your project went for yourself. Okay? In fact, you got 15% of your own grade. Be objective. I'm happy with what I did. I'm amazed, or I'm kind of disappointed. All right, so there it is. Now, what kind of stuff can you do? I've saved a bunch of old student stuff, so let me pull some of these up so you can give some thought to what you want to do. Okay. Here's one right here.
Cool.
Okay. I always start with this one. Okay. It's a Super Soaker, right? Well, squirt gun. This was done in AutoCAD version 11. There wasn't a mouse. Okay. This was all done off the command line with 3D primitives.
Oh, I know.
This thing is easily 25 years old. But the thing that always impresses me is that this was done with nothing but the command line, Cartesian coordinates, and using surfaces. So keep in mind, this was fairly complex little object. Let me render it. I've lost a little bit of the materials and stuff that were assigned to this guy. Where'd my render go? Let's see how long this takes. No, I'm not going to do that.
It had it. It showed it.
Okay. So here's kind of the render of it, the picture. Now certainly you can see there's a lot of things that aren't very good on this, like the cylinders appear fauceted and stuff of that nature. And that was a render engine that this was created under. But again, amazing amount of detail. I mean, you come in and you can kind of see in here, you even got changes through here, and the object was just measured, laid out, and drawn. Good. This would still be a good project for you in today's world. Although we would get a little bit more accurate than this one. Okay, so that, I always like that one. I'm just kind of amazed at that. Let's see, let's go to, here's another one. This one was done a long, long time ago also. This one's a little bit more advanced. This was before, this thing's probably 15 years old now when this was done. So this person was a reloader, brought in their reloading scales. By the way, no guns. Okay? Not bringing a gun in here and modeling it. Can you do a gun?
Oh, yes.
That's my project. But I'm gonna do the tech sketch at home. I'm gonna write all the information down and bring that in. Okay. All right. Now, the nice part of this one is a little bit different. I think we would do this different in today's world because now we have polysolid. But again, it's a very good detailed drawing. We now have suite. So this little hanger right here, that's a bunch of toruses cut in half and glued together. Right, to create that. The text, if I look at right on the side, see how the text is this black line right here? It's just off of that. So we always had to create, for text, we had, those are engraved into those bars. We always had to take text and put them just off the surface so it appear like it's on there. In today's world, we can actually engrave that now, okay, because we do have polysolid or some other commands. And we want this thing to be as close as possible to perfect. Okay, keep in mind, this was hollow underneath, so we made sure we took that out. This is the computer replica. Got his little weights and all those things put on it.
You wouldn't polysolid that into the engraving anyway, because how could you write it so nice? I mean, could you actually get it to read so nice? Why would you, wouldn't you just?
If I wanted to build this with a CNC machine, where I would lay it as a flat piece of stock, aluminum, and I would have a mill build this, where it's building these, my rack gear, and it's doing all these lines and stuff, I wouldn't build every bit of it. I would have one solid at the end. It's got the numbers, it's got all that. I'd take the time to do it. Because then I'd send it to that machine and say, build me 500 of them. I leave for the weekend, I come back, they're all done.
No, but what I'm saying is, how are you gonna write a 5 in polysolid and make it look good on there?
Practice.
Take your time.
Are you serious? So
I
you
am
don't-
serious.
Well, you could just write out a 5 and trace it out with a solid.
It would take you a little bit of time.
Could you just?
Like lay out your grid,
Off.
do all of your numbers, and then pull it from there and put it where you
It's
want
later
it.
on. Isn't that weird?
Work smart. Work smart. Yeah, certainly. We could do all that. There's even some stuff inside here. Now at this point, we didn't have the sweep command, so I didn't have Don do the threads on this. This guy just recently retired. What's that big dairy built at Hatfields out in Gooding?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Hatfields?
There's a couple, but Hatfields is one of the big ones.
Yeah, SolidWorks users. That's where Don just retired
Are your students retired?
from. Uh-huh. It's amazing how time goes.
Just twist that knife.
Here's another one that's pretty nice. This was done in version 12. First year I was here, it's a light tester. Again, this would be much better in today's world with sweep command. But the light bulb goes off and everything on it. And you can put lights to this stuff. You can do all of that. This was a pretty nice little project. Again, it's so old that I've lost a good part of what it does, or used to do. But now it's solid. This used to be done glass. So we assigned a glass material to this, and you could see through it like a light tester really looks. And the light bulb would go off. And believe it or not, the hardest part on this one was, for us, was the alligator clip.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This is a bunch of toruses just joined together and rotated. But that alligator clip caused us a lot of problems back in the old days. This guy, by the way, those of you familiar with Power Engineers, he's a designer for power. And no, he hasn't retired yet. Dusty Owen, he works up in Boise, in the Meridian office. Let's see. You can get whatever you want. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. This is one the students did. One student did. I asked him to do this one. Needs updated. Somebody wants this project. That look familiar?
Oh, yeah.
So there's your little pipe room over in the welding lab. Clay's changed it quite a bit since then, so the flanges aren't right. Now this one's kind of different. And now what we did with this one, since we are doing a northern easting elevation on this, We switched this to the World Coordinate System instead of using UCS's. Okay, UCS use our coordinate system. World Coordinate System, you're physically on the planet in some geographic location. And so we assigned it that to where the northing of this is assigned and everything else snaps in perfectly. So you know where it's at on the planet, not just the drawing. So if somebody wanted to take that on as a project, needs some updating. And again, this is all rendered. See if I can get it to run. Going to take a little bit longer. But he did come in and assign all the cast iron and the looks of it. And it's looking pretty bad here. I'd have to do some work with this version to get it to look right. Now I'm going to see what else I got kind of cool ones. If you want to do one like this one, I don't have the model of this anymore, but I do have the pictures. Hey, this is a game controller. And again, this one, you know, we can take it as complex. This was really a nice one to have done. This gentleman quit drafting, he's now a policeman. But having the fins, and this surface is all freeform. So we had to go surfaces to cut our solids and get this. So it's a pretty complex little project here. He's got lights in it, so when you can turn it on and that red light glows and things like that. So it's a great render for the capabilities we had in those worlds. We didn't have slice at this point. We did have a mesh that we could go with. So it's not all the way a true solid, this one. But it was a good little project. I like this text that he kind of wrapped that around the curve and made it look like it's there, but it's not really there. Okay. So there's one. What's this one? Oh, night vision scope. Okay. And this guy's pretty complex, but again, it turned on and everything. There's another one. This is a student who didn't have anything, couldn't figure out anything to do, so we created a machine, modeled all this stuff. He modeled pencils and he erased it. It's all stuff in this room, right? Can you recognize a little pencil sharpener back up there? And then he put it in a scene. Here's a
Case trimmer.
bullet caster. Had a lot of reloaders in here over the years. Let's see. Here's another one. Jesus is working over in Jerome. He didn't have anything either, so we did a shaft. That's the shaft I use for an example. This worm gear and spur gear, you're going to draw these in mechanical drafting. Those are tough little draws when you start doing those. By the way, this was done before sweep, so the threads on it are mimicked. They're not really part of it. But it'd be a nice little parts catalog. Let's see, what else do I got in here? Probably this is one I started on a long time ago, and I lost the chess set, so I can't finish the darn thing. But I've really enjoyed this one. Come on. Work without. Do not show me this again. Let's see if it'll even render. But this guy right here, I'll tell you what, I had to think on this one. You can't really see the detail on this. It's probably better on here in a conceptual view. Let me go, how about realistic? But the queen, I got stuck on the queen. Yeah, I worked on that for quite a while. But trying to get this detail and get those to all going was a tough little project. I'm going to get myself, bring another chess set in because I want to finish one of these. Maybe that's what I'll do this year. Point being, you can do anything you want. We've had rifles done, we've had airplanes done, we've had people bring in little Maytel cars, tractors, whatever. You can do whatever you wish. Had guitars. Don't bring anything invaluable, please. We can keep it under lock and key. We do have a storeroom in the back. But I would prefer if you bring in something too big to physically model or too valuable, you don't want to leave it out, then what we need is we need a technical sketch to work on. Okay, technical sketch. So you need to physically measure the object, get all your information, and bring that in. Okay. Phones are a real popular one. Watches. I think the guy that sat in your seat, Gabe, last year, he did an iWatch with his phone and the chargers. Yeah, there's several mechanical things with it. Phones are a tough draw. Even though you look at them, they're just kind of a rectangle. No, they're not. There's glass pieces on there. There's all kinds of different pieces. And we're going to try and replicate them. You pick what you want to do. One of the nicest I've ever seen, and Tennille has never sent me your deal, a Singer sewing machine.
Oh, cool.
Best 3D model we've had produced in here, without a doubt. She works with CH2M Hill as a civil draft. And that young lady just knocked that thing out of the park. It was virtually perfect. And if you've ever seen an advanced Singer sewing machine, she did it in about 5 days, and the thing is nothing but freeform surfaces, and just nailed it. Pretty impressive. Anyway, once we get to the end of it, we'll hang some of the best up, you'll vote on them. I'd like to also have the class vote on what they think the best one is, and let's give it to Jim and 3D print it. So you can see how we can create that off of it also. So anyway, give this a little bit of thought. Hopefully we're starting this about next Tuesday. Okay. Write your ideas by me. All right, I've taken up enough of your time for today, so at this point, I'm done. Yeah, Majan, you can do it. Starship.
We expect it.
We need a technical drawing.
We'll expect it.
The rest of the day is yours. Ask questions as they come up.
X-Wing.
I have
Yeah.
a drawing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, geez.